Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is February 15th, 2025, and the weather was quite fine. Wouldn't you say, Jay?
Oh yeah, no, it was nice today. It was like a little chilly this morning, and then randomly as we were going, it got almost like feeling like summertime out there. And then by the time we're coming back, it was like almost winter coat weather.
Yeah, that's
It's so crazy today.
That strange Texas weather. It'll get you. Yeah, so just warming up here. Today was the push session. We're still at 3 RR, and I'm warming up here with 65 pounds. I think I did about 12 reps here to just get everything ready to go. And I would say it was a pretty good session. What about you?
Yeah, I thought it was a good session. Yeah, especially for upper body for me. It was good switching up from lower body from yesterday. I'm feeling new sore muscles already.
Yeah, I know. I think actually we're going to go ahead and get into the markers of hypertrophy stimulus. Look at that. That's perfect timing.
Oh, nice.
We were just talking about that. So, yeah, I would say for sure my chest is sore. It's maybe like a 5 or 6 out of 10. My chest always gets sore pretty fast. And then front delts. What about you? Your chest feeling that?
Yeah,
what are you at out of 10, would you say?
Probably like 6 to 7 right now, and mine's
Okay.
going to kick in more tomorrow, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about like front delts?
Front delts.
Sometimes I can't feel the soreness as much, especially when
Mine's
the chest
almost
is
like
being
a
stretched.
bit of soreness and then tightness.
Okay.
It's like from the soreness, I think.
And what about triceps? Your triceps?
Triceps.
You feel any perturbation? Like if you flex them, does it feel weird?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And then, so yesterday was legs. I think we were talking a little bit before we started recording. My quads and my hamstrings are not very sore, so on our next leg session, I'm definitely going to add some volume, probably to the sumo deadlifts and maybe one more body weight squats. And you know what? I might actually modify those and do goblet squats instead. Yeah, I might add a little bit of load. You know, it's nice with the body weight exercises, but we'll see. Actually, we'll see how I feel after the straight leg deadlift or the sumo deadlifts. And if I'm feeling okay after that, then maybe that's what I'll do. Okay. And then what about you? How are your legs feeling?
I'd say still probably my hip flexors, my hamstrings, and more so my like upper glutes, I think, than compared to yesterday, even more.
So you're still feeling it pretty good in your legs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all throughout the day I was feeling it.
Okay, so that's what we're working with. So then you would probably, I think you will be with us for the next leg session, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it'll only be, 2 days from now?
Yeah.
Or 3?
I'll still be able to do that one.
Yeah, awesome. So then you probably will just be able to keep the same volume. That should do you pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool. So what do we got going on here? We're doing 115 pounds, which means we're in our working sets now. And there I am tilting the chin up a little bit. I've been using that as kind of a way to remind myself to open the chest up. When you have your head on the bench, like instead of keeping it where you're like looking down or even lifting it off, I'll set it back to where it's like almost stretching my neck out a little bit. Kind of cues me up and helps me remember to open it up. But yeah, getting into I think this is the first working set. This seems like a lot of reps. I think it's the first one.
Yeah, it seems like it is.
Oh my god. Did it just go alien there for a second, bro? That was interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of workouts you're doing right there.
Those are some real boss reps, bro. That's some fucking God, what is it? Eccentric, isometric. Yeah. it's the vortices of the apex, dude. Yeah, that's interesting.
I gotta get on that level.
Yeah. One day, man, one day. But yeah, so you're in your working set here too, doing, this is 75, I believe, is the load on this one.
Yeah.
And it looks like the bar path is looking really nice. How'd the stretch feel on this one?
Yeah, stretch was good. I think I was still like regaining familiarity with the bar path because it's been a little while for me.
Yeah, it's always interesting getting back into those movements. You don't want to go too heavy when you're first starting out because those like neural pathways, it's like the steps from point A to point B of doing the movement. it's like riding a bicycle where you get that quote unquote muscle memory and you have those pathways that are being used a lot. It's like a trail that gets walked on a lot.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot clearer which way you need to go versus if it's your first time ever walking foot into some area,
Yeah.
Same thing with getting back into working out, especially hypertrophy stuff, because if you do too much volume or you go way too heavy and do a ton of stuff, you can absolutely like destroy yourself, and then now you're not going to be able to train for who knows how long. So always a good idea to start out a little bit lighter on that. So what do we have here in terms of notes? So that the grip, moving the grip out, still keeping that in. I'm putting my pinky on the first break in the knurling there, and that seems to be perfect for me. What about, I didn't see, how far were your hands out? Do you know?
I think mine were the same.
Same
for
grip?
Sure.
You were taking on
I
pretty
think
much
so.
the same. We are pretty similar height, so and I think we don't have like a crazy difference in limb length, so that very well may be a optimal position for you too. So
Yeah, it seemed comfortable.
yeah, and then what about like pump and like stimulus or markers of stimulus at the time of performing the movement? Were you feeling a pretty good pump, nice burn?
Oh yeah, especially for this being the first workout for the the first sets for the workout. I think it was good because I was right after that. I was like, okay, yeah, I got a good pump going already. I'm like, all right, this is good.
I think I had even mentioned whenever I finished my first set, I was like, okay, yeah, instant pump, right away.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a good one, man. Incline bench, and this is like, it's almost a flat bench. It's only 15 degrees, so it's a really slight incline. So it's mostly chest going on here, but definitely anterior deltoids, and then of course you got the triceps helping out, keeping everything moving up. What about performance here? How did we do? So looks like we tracked pretty much exactly with the last session on the 11th. Got 13 for the first set, 11 for the second, and 9 for the third. So that's pretty good business. Yeah, so let's see. Let's check you out here. How you doing? So nice and slow on the way down. A gentle touch. A little bit of talking going on. What channel? I think we're talking about the movement, though. So,
I think it was.
It's not like we're... And you guys might notice, one of the things I noticed when I was watching this back, is that on some of the sets, it's by the end of it, I'm like, there's no way I could say anything. And it just made me think about like the variations in intensity. It's like I was just saying a moment ago that you wouldn't want to like absolutely blast yourself like your first time back doing a pressing movement. It's really wise not to like push like if you wanted to match all of the load that I'm using and all of the reps that I'm using, you know what I mean? Like sometimes people, I know myself, I've gotten like a bit of a ego lift going on many a times, back in my day.
I mean, it's tempting every time, but I'm like, just don't do it. I'm going to regret it later.
And especially if you want to go long term, I've talked about it before on the channel. I have that philosophy of stay as low as you can, keep the weights as light as you can for as long as you can. That way you're not absolutely destroying yourself, having to lift super heavy weights and put that huge fatigue on your body. If you can still get tons of great gains using lighter weight, I think it's probably a good idea because, your joints can only take so much of a beating throughout your life. Especially considering skeletal muscle is a lot more plastic. It's a lot easier to change. You can grow your muscles bigger slowly over time, but your joints, you don't want to try to push them to the max all the time. It could be, could be detrimental to your health.
I mean, long-term effects for sure.
Yeah. So working into the seated dumbbell shoulder press here. Let's see what we got going on these. So you were working a little bit on your form on these ones too.
I think these ones, my elbows look further back, which I think eventually that's when you're letting me know that they're back so far, because I didn't even notice. And then when I think probably it'll be the next set, but I was able to pivot my elbows a bit more and drop them down closer to my sides, and that also changed it up. I didn't feel that like tension on my shoulders because I was like going back too far the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, and it really kind of made that workout much more smooth for me. I will probably see that one maybe in the next set or so. Hopefully it looks more clear, I think.
Yeah, hopefully we recorded
yeah,
it. We also forgot to record quite a few sets. I was like, you would be like mid-set, and I'm like, no, shit.
Yeah.
Right over there, press the button. I think there is a set or two where you're starting like in that third or fourth rep, and I'm like, shoot, gotta hit record. But, yeah, so would you say that making that adjustment, it felt, like, did you feel more powerful? It felt better moving the load through space?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, that's anytime you're making an adjustment, or if even, actually, I can't believe we didn't talk about it before, especially on leg day. This is the fine gentleman that helped me realize that my feet were, one foot was further than the other on my squat. Because honestly, when I squat, like, watching the footage, it kind of blows me away that the bar is so tilted.
Yeah.
But when I'm doing it, it actually feels totally normal.
Oh, yeah, because I mean, that's what your body's used to, right? And you've adapted your muscles to that, and that was like the new normal from ever since that hip injury or whatever.
Yeah,
like that, right?
yeah. I fractured my hip bone. It like tore the epiphyseal plate and then fractured part of the hip.
Oh my gosh.
And I was still trying to like train and run on it and stuff. Yeah. And I'm like limping like super bad. The coaches are like, yeah, bro, you might be injured, man. You might want
to get that checked
get
out.
An x-ray. And then I did, and they're like, oh yeah, your bone's broken. I'm like, yes, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so thank you for that. That was a game changer. I mean, unfortunately, it's still something I'm having to like. It is pretty much every time I set for squats, I have to check and make sure because it's
that makes sense.
Just your natural position. Yeah, just like I guess if you're right-handed and for whatever reason you need to start using your left hand, it's going to be weird at first, but then over time, hopefully I can, figure that out and get it to where, because I'm really going to be curious to see when I get leaner if the size and like leg musculature is different between the right and left leg because of that. Because I mean, something's got to give there, but I guess we'll see, folks.
Yeah, I mean, this will be the tell once it comes down to it.
Yeah, so I'm creeping in here like a little creeper.
Yeah, because
pause reps again.
Talking in the middle.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
am I doing this right? Should I do this?
Yeah. Okay, so here's the cue about Yeah, so it's coming a little bit up and forward, I'm noticing, but...
Yeah, so I could probably go back on the up, right? But
so
then
I think the path is fine. Like the joints, the shoulder and the elbow look great. I think, it might be what you just did, scooting down a little bit and then leaning back into it a little bit. Yeah, retracting the scapula. And then that way you're like just pressing up like this. Because you have it's a good like path that the dumbbells are taking there, but yeah, for sure the next session it'll probably be a lot more dialed in for you.
Yeah.
Did you get a pretty decent like burn and pump going on in the shoulders?
Yeah, I mean I haven't worked out my shoulders in a while, so it's like wow, yeah.
Yeah,
it's refreshing and painful.
Oh, yes. My two favorite things to have at the same time. That's why I do this. Actually, that's a great way to put it. It is. Yeah. Like, actually, that first set of incline bench, that's how it was, refreshing but painful. Yeah. I was like, ooh, wow, that's crazy. But I was like, ooh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay. Nice, man. Love to hear that. So, let's see. Do I have any more notes on these guys? Yeah, so side delts, the idea here is that we pre-fatigued the chest and the triceps to some degree, but chest and anterior delts mostly we pre-fatigued them, and then so we're hoping here that the side delts are putting in most of the work. Well, we're not hoping, we're setting it up that way, and so I know when I did these last session, it was like one of the first times in a while my side delts were like truly sore, because what was I doing before for these? Oh, I was just doing overhead press for deltoids before, and that just wasn't enough. I think on overhead press, maybe the anterior ones just take over too much, and the upper pec is working super hard.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, hello.
Wait,
You're putting all this in.
Oh my goodness, folks! I don't know what just happened.
I guess the middle of the episode just had the bloopers.
We need I don't know where the ref is at, but there was supposed to be a flag on that play. You know what I'm saying? That was a special one.
Well,
very
I guess the camera's still rolling.
Yeah, it's sometimes, these things happen. All right, so yeah, still cracking through here. Oh man, so I think this is my second set, right, of these. Yeah, so I got, talking performance wise here, 20 for the first set and 18 on the second set last session, and I got the same thing here on this one. Yeah, dude, these are feeling great. I absolutely love these. Especially taking the back out of the equation. That's one of the issues I have using overhead press for shoulder development, growing your shoulders, especially side delts, is that there are probably, I was going to say for whatever reason, there are probably very good reasons, but a lot of ancillary muscles start kind of taking over, and then your spinal erectors and your core have to stabilize you the whole time so that you can generate the force to press a barbell overhead. And then of course when it gets overhead, you're having to balance so that you're not wobbling and losing the bar.
Yeah.
So I think there's just a lot going on with them. It's a great like
harder to isolate.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I feel like these, and especially once I get further into the cut and energy is low, you know what I mean? Calories are low.
Yeah.
And I'm needing everything I can get every advantage I can get to be able to stimulate hypertrophy, but not be like totally gassed for the day. Because we all still have things we have to do in the day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We have people who depend on us and jobs that we have to do. So, you don't want to be so smoked that you're useless to everyone and yourself. So. Yeah, definitely going to be using something like the seated shoulder press as a tool once we get further in. And even right now, I was like, I kind of use this mesocycle as like the exercises I want to do, or like in the case of the sumo deadlifts, just exercises I've seen, and I'm like, you know what, I want to try that. And I'm glad I did, because we both found that the hip flexors, and probably the upper glute too, were like limiters for sure.
Yeah, that was a great workout to do.
Yeah, definitely need some work on those guys. So yeah, man, don't be afraid to try some stuff out, but at the same time, trying to keep these things in mind about so like in the case of overhead press, it would have like a higher raw stimulus magnitude maybe for, actually I don't even know if it would, because it's not really working the side delts like I would want. It definitely hits the front ones though. Like the RSM is super high, but the RSM, the raw stimulus magnitude, is like how great of a stimulus the exercise provides.
Okay.
So if it like totally destroys you for days, that's a huge RSM. But then the other thing you want to keep in mind is the stimulus to fatigue ratio, and that's how much does it beat you up for like how much stimulus you get. And obviously you don't want something to totally destroy you. So that's what I was talking about with the overhead press. It doesn't have as good of a stimulus to fatigue ratio as this exercise does.
Gotcha.
That's part of why I swapped it out. So I'm being smart on that one, but then like on tomorrow's workout, the barbell curls, okay, the stimulus fatigue ratio is not better than the incline curls, but I love barbell curls, man. And they got me nice and sore last time too. So I think you'll see, because I put them at the start of the workout too. So it's the first thing we do is we go
going strong.
Yes, we go into the squat rack and we curl. We curl in the squat rack.
I mean, I probably need it, so let's get it going.
Okay, yeah, man, yeah. I guess at a gym you would get in trouble for that, but when you got a home gym, you can do whatever you want. So we're gonna do whatever we want. So moving to the overhead tricep extensions here. These actually didn't feel as great as they usually do for me. I don't know. How are these feeling for you?
I thought they were good, but also my weight wasn't like as high of a weight because I was still rebuilding the form, I think. So for me, I felt pretty comfortable just isolating my triceps, which I haven't done in a while for pretty much any arm workouts in a bit. So,
okay. Yeah. Interesting.
And I thought this did it really well.
Yeah. It's a. I mean, this is like my favorite tricep exercise right now, just because of the potential for stretch at the bottom. And actually, let me look here. Okay. It's interesting. I'm doing kind of what I was doing yesterday on the reverse Nordics. That top half of the eccentric is fast, but the bottom half is slow. See, fast, slow. It's interesting. I wonder, because the natural inclination is to drop down fast, so that it doesn't hurt very bad. It doesn't burn a lot. Like if you go super slow on the way down and up, it's gonna burn like crazy. It's gonna hurt super bad.
Yeah.
So the natural inclination, I feel like, is to take the path of least resistance, try to drop it down fast.
Yeah, and then you mentally remember it, and then you slow it down.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. Yeah, it's like cueing yourself up. That's kind of what this whole thing is about, and especially watching all the footage like this, figuring out how to cue myself to make these things more effective, and then to make it to where I don't have to train forever. Especially because I'm convinced at this point that training for like hours a day is probably less beneficial.
Yeah, I would think it's more detrimental at some point.
More
like
detrimental.
Your body's got to repair, and also like you'll probably get sick down the road and then have to take time off anyway. So
yeah.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah, that fatigue buildup. That's part of the reason I do deloads as well. Give yourself some time off. And even like if I'm just feeling horrible or something like that, or something crazy's going on, bro, take a day off. Like,
yeah.
You might end up making things worse for yourself, like you said, getting sick or being distracted and hurting yourself or someone else. So
yeah,
definitely got to find some sort of balance in that. So let's see here. Reps, we got 16 for the first set. Last session, we got the same thing today, and then 13, and then we got 14 today. So added a rep. I felt a little bit stronger than I did last session. I don't know if maybe it was not as good sleep or something, but yeah, 16 and 14 there, pretty good. So let's see how you're looking on these guys here. Pretty steady speed, the whole movement. You did say it was, and you can tell by the speed coming back up, it's pretty light for you.
Yeah.
But just figuring out the movement. So you were saying that the cue of keeping the elbows in was helping isolate your
definitely.
triceps.
Yeah, because I've like at some points like my elbows would like flare out, and it felt like the workout would change. And then when I pull them back in, I was like, oh yeah, that was it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that might have been the face for it.
You're like, oh, that's what it's supposed to feel like. Yeah, man. Dude, that's great. Yeah, it's so nice to see someone else go through these, because sometimes I have to ask myself, like, am I just being a little baby, or does this really burn a lot and hurt? I'm like,
it's burning for me.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I have another person I train with, and yeah, she definitely, I can tell she's uncomfortable, but she doesn't complain or grunt nearly as much as I do. So I'm like, does it hurt, or are you good? Like, are you these just easy for you? Yeah. I don't know, but moving on to the last exercise, the deficit push-up, and I love doing these at the end, man. It's just like a huge stretch on pretty much all the muscles that we're stimulating in this session. Yeah, getting that big stretch, and then it's kind of like yesterday with those bodyweight squats. It's like the icing on the cake. It squeezes a little bit of stimulus out, but it's a bodyweight exercise, so it's not super crazy. It's not super dangerous, especially because we're controlling the reps. We're moving through it in a safe manner. And I think I was cueing you up with like putting the feet together, bracing, squeezing the glutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna see our first temporary muscular failure of the.
I'll let you know once we get to about 100. I mean 2.
Nice, man. Yes, and I love that still at the end. Yeah, so that's the session, guys. It was a great one today, and tomorrow's pull day, so we'll see y'all then.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
See ya.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can we start? I didn't realize it scratched my nose. I didn't realize that we were going to start in a second.
It's fine.
Wait.
We're starting now when it transitions, remember?
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's not recording in the meantime.
All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.